Hello there, singing friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's Mickey here, your friendly neighborhood singing coach. Today is Sunday, August 17th, and I cannot believe how quickly the summer flew by. I think particularly for me because we got my dog, Falcor, who's in here deciding whether she wants to go out. You want to stay down here with me or you want to go upstairs? You want to go up? All right, I'm going to let her out. Hold on one sec. It's been a really wonderful adjustment for our family, an addition to our family. I love having a dog, and she's a really great dog. So yeah, let me know if you guys have pets and what kinds you have and what their names are. But I really think it adds so much to a family. And with our 3 boys and the dog, the house is definitely a little bit chaotic, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I love a house that's full of life. And I know when we're in the next phase and the boys move out, it's gonna be something that I'm gonna miss, that chaos. Not that there's not a beauty to serenity as well, but you find little moments of serenity even in the chaos. So anyways, today I'm gonna be doing, you could hear her barking in the background. She likes to bark just to hear her own voice, not at anything in particular. Today I'm going to be doing another reaction from Mike German, and this is to Black Sabbath, Lonely is the Word, the lyric video. And he writes, "This song is an iconic masterclass of old school rock lead guitar virtuosity by Tony Iommi. Ronnie James Dio does a great job on vocals as always, with great bass by Geezer Butler and drums by Bill Ward." All right, so let's look at the lyrics first. I pulled them up and it is "Lonely is the Word." The song was released in 1980, the year that I was born. And it says, "It's a long way to nowhere and I'm leaving very soon. On the way we pass so close to the backside of the moon. Hey, join the traveler if you've got nowhere to go. Hang your head and take my hand. It's the only road I know. Oh, lonely is the word. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been higher than stardust. I've been seen upon the sun. I used to count in millions then, but now I only count in one. Come on, join the traveler if you've got nowhere to go. Hang your head and take my hand. It's the only road I know. Yeah, lonely is the word. Got to be the saddest sound I've ever heard. Yeah, lonely is the name. Maybe life's a losing game." All right, so I really like these. I would classify this as poetic abstraction. And they're very universal, you know, so you can kind of interpret these in multiple ways. And I think the main point is about loneliness and how it's part of the human condition. And I think everybody has experienced that at one point or another. So it is very universally accessible in that sense. And, you know, sometimes singers will write very specifically and anecdotally where they'll tell you exactly what they did and what they had for breakfast. And that has its own charm as well, you know. But I think when something is written more abstractly like this, you can project whatever you want onto it and it becomes something that everybody can find a way to relate to and a way into. So I really like them. I think, you know, "It's a long way to nowhere and I'm leaving very soon" could be like, you're at the end of your life or something, right? And you're on your way to oblivion. Nowhere could be like the end of life or, yeah, that's the way that I would interpret it, right? Like it's been a long life and now you're coming up on oblivion. And on the way we pass so close to the backside of the moon is very like cosmic, you know, and almost like psychedelic. It reminds me of obviously the dark side of the moon, that imagery. Hey, join the traveler if you've got nowhere to go. Hang your head and take my hand. It's the only road I know. It's like you're inviting another person into your loneliness, which I think is one of the most paradoxical things about loneliness, right? Like you can be around other people and still feel very lonely and be stuck in your own head and your own qualia. And, you know, I think it was Robin Williams that talked about how it's the most depressing to be lonely in a crowd of people, right? Because you can be around others physically, but feel like they don't see you and they don't get you and they can't pierce that that shell of separation between you and the world. Oh, lonely is the word. Yeah. I've been higher than stardust. I've been seen upon the sun. So, that could be like higher, like drugs. Obviously, Black Sabbath makes a lot of drug references. But it also could just be like elation, like at points in my life, I've been so full of joy and I've been seen upon the sun. The sun is so bright and warm, right? So you're part of everything. I used to count in millions then. So maybe you were like part of humanity, you were part of the crowd, you felt like you fit in, but now I only count in one. So again, that loneliness, right? Then it repeats the chorus. Lonely is the word, gotta be the saddest sound I ever heard. That reminds me of like, one is the loneliest number that you'll ever know, right? Lonely is the name, maybe life's a losing game. So very, very beautiful lyrics. I really like them. I really appreciate the style of lyric writing, and I'm excited to check it out. So this is obviously not Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. This is Ronnie James Dio, Black Sabbath. And Ronnie James Dio was born in 1942, died in 2010, so just short of 70. It's pretty young, actually, by modern accounts. And that was his stage name. He was born Ronald James Padavona, sounds Italian. And it says he was an American heavy metal singer and songwriter who fronted several bands, including Black Sabbath, Rainbow, Elf, Dio, and Heaven and Hell. His career began in the late 1950s with rockabilly bands, and he took his stage name from gangster Johnny Dio. I did not know that. Dio replaced Ozzy Osbourne as Black Sabbath's lead singer from 1979 to 1982 and is credited with revitalizing the band with a more fantasy-based lyrical style. So yeah, I would definitely say that this is fantastical lyrics. Fantasy is a good way to describe them. And they're just, I like the scansion of them. It's an A, B, C, B rhyme scheme, and exact rhymes, not near rhymes. So I think it flows really, really nicely, and I'm curious to hear what it sounds like. So let's check it out. Let's jump right in. Without further ado.
It's a long way to nowhere, and I'm leaving very soon. On the way, we pass so close to the backside of the moon. Hey, join the traveler if you've got nowhere to go. Hang your head and take my hand.
Very cool. So I really like the way that he's singing, his placement. He's using a very open throat back placement. So it sounds very dark and grounded, right? It gives it a lot of gravitas. So it's a long way to nowhere, and I'm gonna get there soon. I think I messed up the lyrics a little bit. Sorry about that. But as opposed to a more front-placed, kind of bright, spun forward sound, which would be, it's a long way to nowhere, right? It's a little bit lighter and more bright. So when you sing with that low larynx and that open throat, it gives it like a lot of heft. And that matches the heaviness of the music as well. I like that he's adding in a few little ornaments as well, but like nothing excessively florid, right? That da, And then when he goes up, da 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 da. It's like a little bit of ornaments, like a little trill, oh, right, or that descending, oh. So it gives it a little bit of variety, the melody, but like nothing super over the top. I also really, really like the album cover. So the title of the album is Heaven and Hell, and it's like angels smoking cigarettes. It's very cheeky, very, very cute.
I've been higher than stardust. I've been seen upon the sun. I used to count in millions then, but now I only count in one. Come on, join the traveler if you got nowhere to go. Hang your head and take my hand. It's the only road I know. Yeah, lonely is the word. Got to be the saddest soul I've ever heard.
So just quickly, I wanted to say his sustained notes, right? Oh, lonely is the word. He sustains these notes and they're very, very steady in pitch, and that's actually quite difficult to do. So if you want to try it just as an experiment for yourself, pick a note that's like in your comfortable chest voice range and just try to hold it, right? And the longer you hold it, you'll find that your pitch is probably going to start wobbling because it requires a lot of breath support, right? A lot of core engagement. And just to be able to hold a note really steady is quite an accomplishment and not have it oscillate in pitch. I like the way that he's tweaking his vowels, right? Like when he says like traveler rather than traveler, a lot of times singers will do that. They'll drop the R at the end of words and tweak the vowel a little bit more open because that gives you more space to resonate and makes it easier to get power. I like his scansion, the way he's singing the lyrics in terms of rhythm, right? It's like da-na-na, da-na-na-na. It like almost like anticipates rather than being like really even. So I love the variation in rhythm. I love the variation in melody. Sometimes he goes up and changes the melody a little bit. So very, very cool. I'm really enjoying his singing on this one. Really, really great. Very, very nice. Sorry to stop it. I just wanted to say that I love this like long form guitar solo. I think it's really limiting in pop songs when you have like a 4-bar solo or whatever, you know, like this feels like it's really giving him the freedom. It's really giving Tony Iommi the space to play around and surprise himself and go through all these different phases of the solo. You know, and sometimes when you have a really long solo, it can feel wandering and pointless, and you want to rein it in, you want to make it shorter, you know, but this has a lot of structure, and there's like different parts where it suddenly changes the feel, and it goes from being like very slow and dreamy in the beginning, and then it picks up and has more energy, and then there's like some stops, and then it starts again, you know, and the rhythm section sounds great supporting him. And then when Ronnie comes in with those, with that lonely is the name of the game or whatever, his level of intensity matches perfectly with the solo. So they're really like partners, you know, and it like flows so nicely. So I really, really love this long form solo, especially when it's so soulful. And people always say like good guitar players sound like a human voice almost because they're so expressive. And I definitely think that the way that he's playing with all those bends and those changes and the emotion does sound very much like a voice. So I love it. I think it's beautiful. Really, really nice. Very cool. I mean, I feel like I could listen to him play guitar all day long and not get bored. There were some riffs in there, some repeating figures, but for the most part, it's all like new ideas the whole time, you know, and really, really nice. And there's so much variation in there. I wouldn't be able to sing that back to you, obviously, you know, I'd have to listen to it 100 more times to learn all of the nuances. And that's really cool. And to be able to play a solo that's a couple of minutes long and be so entertaining and dynamic and have enough structure that it makes sense is very impressive. And, you know, you have that like repeating figure in the background of the keyboard, that da-da-da-da, which kind of anchors it and slowly has a crescendo at the end. So yeah, I thought that was beautiful. I love these extended guitar solos. I always think like the electric guitar and the vocalist are like, should be of equal prominence in rock bands. I love electric guitar, and yeah, I think it's a beautiful solo and has a lot of really human voice qualities to it. I really like this song. This is one of my favorite songs that I've heard from Black Sabbath. And I really like Ronnie James Dio's voice. I love Ozzy's voice as well, but I really, really like his voice. So very, very cool. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you for the recommendation, Mike. And I hope that you enjoyed my reaction, and I'll see you guys here next time. Until then, take care And of course, happy singing, happy end of summer. Ah! And please let me know about your pets down below because I'm just in love with my dog. Bye for now.